Welcome to Creative Pages with Catherine Live. I'm Catherine, and guess what? It's finally time for the last 4 sketches from our September 2024 virtual crop. I have sketches 9 through 12 to finish up for all of you. It's been interesting trying to find the extra time to get these last 4 done. And I'm glad I was able to before the next virtual crop comes around the corner here. Um, there's a good bit going on here, and I'll share a little bit more at the end. But let's get into the sketch number 9 first. Okay, they've moved around where I adjust things, so give me a second here. I found it. Here we go. We are going to be working with summer break first. And sketch number 9 is here. It is a 2-page sketch, so we're going to leave it a 2-page sketch. It's rare that I'll take a 2-page sketch and make it smaller. We are going to be using our Build-A-Punch, the Flying Kite, and then we're also going to be using our artsy add-on for this collection as well. I'm going to like to give you all some extra options of things that you can do with those. I have already gone ahead and punched out my kite. I took it from the back side of the paper that had the watermelons on it, and I punched one with the orange and one with the yellow. I guess it's kind of a reddy orange, but anyways, that's where I took those from. And of course, you also get the companion bows, and I'll show you where those are going to go as well. But I had to make sure to mention it. I also am going to be using the kites on both sides of my page as the base. It's the one that has the red gingham on the back, maybe plaid, checkerboard, you name it. It's okay. It's the one with the kites. How's about that? So your flying kite Build-A-Punch. Actually, I probably should, since we were talking about tools so much and punches during the other part of the virtual crop. I want to show you. So here you can see that metal part again where we actually get our kite from, and the bows actually punch inside. So when you punch this punch, let me show you. Why not? Y'all are going to have to let me know. I guess maybe I'll put up another poll at the end of all of this to find out if you want me to keep doing these techniques as part of the virtual crop, or maybe I'll add them as a video later. But so I'm just lining it up here on my paper. I'm going to punch, and then you can see basically the only thing that came out, I don't know if you can see, are these little 4 pieces. And then when you take out your punch, you can see here in the paper, I have 2 bows and a kite that have come away with my paper. Oops. Of course, I'm losing the other bow. But there we go. That is what comes out. And then you have just these little 4 triangles that are what get punched away. If I can actually get them off my desk now, because we're going to be using these other pieces in our layout. I'm going to set that aside for now. But I hope y'all have enjoyed seeing me talk about all of the punches and tools during this September virtual crop. It's definitely been a lot more teaching, I guess, if you will, than what I normally do during the virtual crops. I had a remnant of some of our tangerine cardstock. One of these days, I'm not going to think of sherbet. It does. It reminds me so much of that orange creamsicle. I think I talked about this a lot in one of my other videos, probably where I got this piece from. But this is a 4-inch by 12-inch piece, and I'm going to place it about an inch over from the right side of our left page of our layout here. And I pulled 3 of our mats, and I'm going to be honest with y'all, I don't remember which one came from our mat pack and which one came from the artsy add-on. The artsy add-on did just have 4.5 by 6.5 mats. So I know that this one is a 4x6 mat. This came from my regular mat pack, but the rest of them I kind of mixed in. So, if you have your regular mat pack on hand and you want to check, you can. But I mean, the Artsy add-on just had some really cute mats, so you might want to get that as well. So I'm using our green one. It's the lighter, almost lime green looking color. It has picture perfect day on the back of it. Our floral, the 4x6, has other florals and the lines going the opposite way for a journal mat on the other side of it. And then I have the yellow diamond one with the blue dragonflies or dark sea green dragonflies on the other side of it. And those are 4.5 by 6.5 inches. Oops. Okay, my tape runner is getting away from me a little bit there, but that's okay. All right, so this one is going to go up here in our left corner, getting it about a 1/2 inch. It's kind of between that 1/4 and 1/2 inch mark there, I would figure here. And we're going to do about the same here. And I put that one on crooked, didn't I? I can tell it looks crooked to me. Yes, that mat is crooked. I'm going to have to grab I don't know if I just put this other one on crooked too. Hang on, maybe I need to scoot my chair over. Okay, well, it's been an interesting week here. Apparently, I'm going to put every single mat on crooked. I don't know. I've had a couple of really long days. I think I spent a 1/2 hour the entire day at home yesterday between 7:15 and 8 o'clock at night. It was really a long one. All right, let's try this again. Let's see, am I lined up? Well, going forward, I'm going to make sure I'm getting these straight before I actually place them here, maybe. Here we go. That looks better. That looks better. Okay, yes, so much better. And then this one is going to be up at the top here, but we are going to be placing, okay, this one is our regular embellishment. This is a wagon with a little pinwheel on the back of it. We have our kite with our clouds going down here. And then we have a trio of kites. And then, like I said, sometimes I find these larger embellishments and then I don't know where to place them. And so I found a place to place them. And then this you might recognize as one of our bows that came off of our kite punch. Build a kite punch. Uh-oh, I just grabbed the wrong tape runner for that. So okay. I'm not going to start the live stream over, but whew, I'm feeling my mistakes tonight. That's okay. That's what I can show you guys how to I peeled off a little bit of my extra tape runner there. I'm going to fold over my regular tape runner because our regular tape runner is made up of a series of kind of rectangles almost, whereas our repositionable is made up of a series of dots. So I'm going to get that one. So now you can see it's just, you can't even tell that I messed up the tape runner on there. And I'm going to place this bow on our embellishment here just to dress it up a little more because, this one has bows, but this little yellow guy didn't have any bows. And it just so happened I punched with that yellow part of our paper. So I have a yellow bow I can add to our embellishment, which is super fun. Oops, I need to straighten this out, don't I? Maybe I knocked it at some point. Okay, so that's, oh no, I didn't want to put it down yet because I wanted to double check the placement of my embellishment. Go figure. That's the whole reason why I pulled out the embellishment and then I got distracted by the bow. Okay. Here we go. Now we have this, and this is going to be kind of going up from the corner here. And I'm just lining up this edge of this kite here with the top of my page. So that way I know it's on my page. And then these two mats are going to touch. And this is going to have about 1/4 inch from the edge of the page over here. And I'm going crooked again. I can just tell. How's that? All right, not too bad. Whoops. Okay, press down that one. Here we go again, Catherine. All right. I'm going to get the hang of this yet tonight. Okay. So now I also have an extra bow for this kite because, of course, these kites all have bows. So why why can't this one have a bow too? So I have that little orange one from my other kite I punch, which our kites are going to be on the other side of our page. So this one I think we'll just put right in here. So that way it looks like it's just on the string there. And we're going to place our wagon down here. I don't think neither one of these are the artsy add-ons. The artsy add-on is also on the other side of the page. This was in our regular embellishment pack, but again, you know, you all asked to see sticker and embellishment clusters on one of the things we voted on. I don't know if I actually listed it on my what is this sketch? Okay, on my sketch, I did have the build a punch, flying kite, and the artsy add-on, but now hey, we can add a little cluster here at the bottom with these two larger embellishments. And I'm going to actually lift up our handle of our wagon a bit because I kind of wanted it to look like the wagon was holding the string for the kite. I don't know if I can actually lift it up and through here. I think I'm going to try with my multi-purpose tool here. Maybe not. That might be that. Oh, well, maybe not. Maybe I can actually get it to go a little bit here. Hey, look at that. I got it. Aha. So now our wagon's holding our kite, and we're just going to angle it like that a little bit so it's going through the little handle of our wagon. And so this one does have a little bit of shine on it. I can see the camera and the lights are picking it up a little bit. But you know what? And it goes over our mat just a little bit, but this is a 4.5 by a 6.5 mat. Our photos are typically 4 by 6, so we have that 1/2 inch that we can play with overlaying the mat just a little bit. So here we go. Here's a close-up look at that. So you can see where I did weave that little string through the handle. You can see that it definitely has a little bit of a gloss to that embellishment. The other ones don't as much, but there's a close-up of the left side of our page. Let me go ahead and get the right side done. I almost feel like something fell off of the page, but maybe not. Maybe it was just a little piece of confetti still on my paper. Let's hope. Okay, let me put this up here. So now you're kind of getting to see where we're going. It's always that first page. I can kind of make it more of a surprise. And then the other ones, now that I'm doing all these together in one live stream, it makes it a little bit less surprising for you all. I don't get to unveil the whole thing like I was before, but I like this. I like being able to show you all 4 in one video or one live stream. If you're watching it on the replay, it's a video, but I do like it this way. And now this one is going to be over further. And one of the things in our sketch, it does show that are these strips. So this is another 4 by 12 strip of the tangerine cardstock. And if you look closely, so here's the center of this layout. This one looks like it's closer, and this one looks like it's a little bit further over on our sketch. And so, you know, I kind of went further over on this side versus the other. And some of that's just the way my embellishments and mats laid out on the page for me. I have 3 more 4.5 by 6.5 mats. I have this orangey one that says Summer Break on the back. I have the dark sea green one that says Hello Summer. And we have another yellow grid one that has more dragonflies on the back, the dark sea green. And then I have another 4 by 6 that I'll show you in just a moment here once I get my tape runner going on these other ones. Let's see, where do I want to place this? Probably about the same. Let me see if I'm straight or not. Am I going crooked again? I think I'm okay. So again, about between that 1/2 and 3/4 of an inch. This one's going up the page here, about a 1/2 inch here as well. And this one is going to be kind of in line with this other one, but I think down a little bit. So closer to 1/4 of an inch from the bottom, but about the same between the 1/4 and the 1/2 on the side here. And then, okay, I've got our artsy add-on here because this one has the little numbers 5B and 5C. And then 5A is going to be on our little mat here. Uh-oh, I just lost the bow. We'll see if it shows up or not. I wonder if that's what fell on me earlier, or did it get stuck in here? Uh-oh, that might have been what fell. Nope, here it is. Okay, it's stuck with the other bow. Whew, okay. Sometimes you just don't know. But anyways, we have Summer Memories. This is going to be our title. And then this piece, Sunshine here, is our 5A piece. So even though with the artsy add-on, they recommend making the 5A, B, and C a cluster, we're actually not. We are going to have our A piece out here with the foam square, and then our B and C are going to be in this other area. So I just thought, it just worked. I am funny about color, and it just kind of came together for me, and I just really liked having the little bike parked by the lemonade stand and having the sunshine up here with our kites and our summer memories. So grabbing the repositionable tape again. Yes, I'm using the repositionable tape. I'm trying to make sure. I don't know. No guarantees that I'll get the right tape runner all night, but for now we're doing okay, right? I think so. Okay, so our bike is with our lemonade stand here. And again, I'm going to go just a little bit over our mats here because 4.5 by 6.5 mats, we can actually go on to those a little bit on our layout. This is the 4 by 6, and then here are our little kites that I punched earlier from the watermelon paper, the paper that has the watermelon on the back, kind of the ombre on the front. Let's see. Yellow is going on this side, orange on the other side, and then we are going to kind of put them close but offset a little bit. And then I have those bows that are also going to get a little bit of tape runner. If I can swing it here. It just keeps sticking to my finger. That's all right. Oops. And I'll stick into the tape runner. They are small pieces. You can use your lifter stick if you need to. And I'm going to go ahead and place my bows here, one on top of each other. And then we are going to, if I can get them placed, there we go. We have our navy dual tip pen here, and I'm going to use the thinner side, and we're actually going to go ahead and draw in a couple of strings for our kites. Let me bring in my other side. Let me bring in my other side, make sure so these are all solid lines. Originally I was thinking about doing a dotted line, but let's go ahead and draw in our little swirly line for our kites here, going through our bows and then just ending. And we're just kind of curve that around a little bit, bring it together, bring it coming out, and we will maybe bring that going the same direction because the wind's got to be blowing the same direction, right? So easy enough with our navy pen here. And you can see what I drew in works. And that's the left side, or I'm sorry, that's the right side of our page. I guess I knew it wasn't going to be the last time I said the wrong word or made a mistake tonight, probably. That's okay. Maybe it just makes it a little bit more entertaining for all of you, which I appreciate you joining me. Thank you. If anybody has any questions or comments, please feel free to put them in the box, and I will answer them in between layouts and do my best. So there we go. There is our summer break layout for sketch number 9. And so I did move the title here on the sketch. It was down here. And I did put mine up and then the journal box in about the same place. Photo placement. Photo, 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 photo. Journaling. This one actually is pretty straightforward. You can put 2 photos in here. I think the easiest, and you can even add another smaller one up here as well if you would like. You can actually put a photo in your journal box and then journal over here or even in your orange space here. So there's always options as far as adding your photos and doing your journaling. So let's move on to sketch number 10. How's about that? Oops. I have to use my Power Project folder cardboard separators here to get myself organized for all these layouts also. Okay. Let's see here. Well, I have some extra notes at the top and I'm trying to clip it to my board here. Okay, this one is primarily using our Passport to Adventure collection. I'm going to remove my right page. But when I saw the circles here, I kind of, I don't know. It wasn't speaking to me. We'll put it that way. And then when I started looking through the embellishments, we have quite a few. If I can actually get it off of this right-hand side, we have quite a few of these boxes with this collection that are in our embellishment pack, and I hadn't used quite a few of them. And so I was like, you know what, this is speaking to me. The circles, not so much. So we're actually going to be using one of these on the bottom part of our right-hand side of our layout. But on the left-hand side, I pulled out my Happy Hauntings collection because I thought this is a nod to the circle, but it also flows really well with the black accents I've used on the page as well. And I just thought it just really worked out for me. So this is from Happy Hauntings. And then we also have our Passport to Adventure. And I used one of our layered border embellishments, the bus. So I still had the bus that needed to get used. And then I also did use our ticket border sticker as well. But let's get this put together. I am going to use my 0 centering ruler to center our compass paper because that's kind of the whole main focus of our page. And then for our base of our layouts here, this is something else I don't think I've ever shown on camera before. So this actually is not an index sheet, which you know I use a lot of index sheets. This is one of our filler papers from our pocket pages. So if you do layouts like I do where you're building them on cardstock or you're building them on designer paper, you need to put them into your album somehow. And if you look at my album flip through, you'll see I have primarily most of my layouts in pocket pages. When you purchase the pocket pages, you get a sheet of paper in them. And this is one of my sheets. So I'm using for both sides my filler paper from my pocket pages because, you know, it's another sheet of cardstock that you can use. Creative Memories doesn't give you anything that you can't use in an album. So I thought it worked out really well for this layout in particular, especially with on this one. It has this white space, it has kind of the darker space, and then it had borders, and I don't know, like I said, it just spoke to me. What can I say? For the center of our page, I am using a 6-inch piece of our compass paper. So, and this is going to be centered. This is the one that has all of the different planes and tire treads on the back side of it. I have my 0 centering ruler lined up at the top and bottom of my page. So all I need to do is line up the 3s because my 0 is in the center of the ruler. So I have 6 inches. I'm going to 3 and 3. That's 6. And that's where we are. Now, the other pieces I have here are black shimmer paper. So I have a, what do I have? I want to say yes, 1 3/4. I'm amazed I remember that. But 1 3/4 by 12 inches of the black shimmer cardstock is what I used, which I think is a different measurement than what they used on their thing, on their page, which is fine. I usually do switch things up a little bit to fit with what my vision is for my pages. And so here we go. Black shimmers going across the bottom of the page. So these are just ever so slightly bigger than my cardstock, but we do sometimes have a little bit of variance, but that's okay. So you're seeing just there's ever so little bit of white showing on the edges, but it's okay. You know, once it's in the album, you won't even notice. I'm going to go ahead and place down my layered border embellishment. And if you're wondering what's a layered border embellishment, it basically already has the foam squares in the border. So every single one of these little buses is popped up already, ready to go. You don't need to add any foam squares because they're already there for us. And then I'm just going to go ahead and use my repositionable tape and run it across here a bit. Just going down. Okay. So here we go. And I wanted to place this, let's see, with a little bit of the black showing off the bottom, but not too much. So about 1/8 of an inch. This is one of those things where it's good to have notes for sure. Okay, so our buses are down, and then we're going to go ahead and place our ticket punch, or I'm sorry, border sticker. We do have a ticket border punch, but I did not use it this time because the colors on this border sticker were just perfect. So we're going to run this through the center of our top piece of shimmer paper here. And then our actual moon is going to go over it. This is a 3.5 by 3 inch square. And the way I cut it, because the moon actually is kind of like over a little bit on the paper. If you have our Happy Hauntings collection, it's the one with the black roses on the back of it. And so what I did was I cut, let's see, I cut a 4-inch by 12-inch strip off the top of the paper. So I took off, a chunk from the top of the paper. And then I took a 3-inch by 12-inch, which is what this one is, 3 inches tall, 3.5 inches wide. And then from my 3 by 12-inch strip, I took off 1.5 inches, and then I cut the 3.5 by 3. So that's how I wound up getting the moon just kind of offset on my paper a little bit. I thought, if you want to try to do something similar, I probably should explain how I got what I have here. And it did take a little bit of strategic cutting to get my moon to appear offset towards this left edge of my layout. And then I grabbed our camera and our sightseeing sticker. We're going to have another small cluster here. And this is just going to layer over the corner of our camera with the sightseeing. And then, whoops, maybe not. Let's just get them down on here. That's going to go here. Camera, an angle, and then sightseeing is here. Okay, and that is the left side of our page. It's done already. Pretty easy, pretty simple. Now I did leave, so this one is kind of like what I did with the Denim Revival early on in this crop. I don't know if I'm going to have 3 3 3/4 by 5 3/4 photos that are all vertical to place in this space. So I wanted to leave myself enough options so I can place a couple of horizontal photos if I want, or I can do even, 4 horizontal photos. I can do a couple of vertical ones. I just don't know until I get my photos out what I'm going to want to fit on the page. And so this actually leaves me the most options to do that. And then if I also want, I can also, if I feel like I'm going to have a lot more journaling to do, but I mean, we have white space up here and down here. So you're going to want your photos in this area. And then we also have the box on the right side of the page as well. So let's go ahead and get this right side put together. Also, the bottom has a bit going on, as you can see, but we'll do this for now. We'll put that in a minute, and you'll see what it looks like together in just a moment. So I do have the other half of this piece of paper, the compass paper. Essentially, I use the whole sheet of paper because I have two 6-inch by 12-inch pieces. And let me scoot this over since I put all my other stuff on the other side. Let's go to the 3s again on the 0 centering ruler. All right, pretty good. There we go. So easy to get those placed. And now we do have the 1 3/4 inch by 12-inch shimmer strips again. Oh, okay. Here we go. And I've got a bunch of notes for this right side of the page because I have a certain way I want this little box placed with this other strip that I'm going to show you. Just leaving that just ever so little bit of white again. And here we go. Our other ticket border sticker. And, oops. Let me bring in my other side of my page for this because if I get this really off, that's not going to be good. After I went to the trouble of measuring and placing my actual compass paper, I probably should have my tickets line up as well. And I know I just kind of placed it on this other side. There we go. Okay. So tickets are going across the page, and now let's get our embellishment down. And then I've got all this other stuff. Okay, first things first, repositionable tape with our other bus that has the layered border embellishment here. All right. Place this one down about 1/4 inch up. I probably should double check that across the thing too, huh? Probably. Wouldn't be a bad idea. That would actually be being smart here, or trying to work smart here. No, down a little bit. I went up closer to 1/8 on the other side, didn't I? Down just a little bit here. Okay. It's a good thing I didn't press it all the way down, or else I would definitely be getting out my multi-purpose tool again. And now we have, do you remember how I said I had cut off 1.5 inches by 3 inches from the end of that Haunted Happenings paper? This is that little piece, because this will actually help to anchor our paper up on the other end a bit, if you will, to the eye. It just is one of those, I don't know, one of those little things that I wanted to do. So that's what I'm doing, I guess. It just, I don't know. If I say it spoke to me again, would that be bad? I hope not. So this is that embellishment that I showed you, and I am laying it sideways with the larger part of the black. This is about, let's measure it. I want to say 1/2 inch, but it's right at 5/8. So a little bit over the 1/2 inch. And we are going to cover up this bus. So not something I normally do, but we're going to layer it under here. So our buses, since they're popped up, it kind of makes it easy to place our journal box over it. And I don't think we're going to have too many problems writing on there. But I'm just going to kind of rub at the top and the bottom to make sure it's secure. And oops, looks like that corner is a little bit flappy. And if you watched any of my card videos, you know I'm all about trying not to have flappy corners this year. So let's add a little bit more tape runner. There we go. Okay, that's done there. And then we also have in our embellishment pack, a lot of times we get these enameled embellishments. And so I have this star with the gray, and I also have this little arrow. And we're going to place these down. Let's see. All right, this is where I have all my notes. Stars going up here, kind of in between the two papers, bridging our two papers together. And then our arrow is going to be pointing at whatever we're going to journal. So there. And then I also pulled these two stickers. We have a So Much Fun and we have a black arrow. And I thought, you know, it just fits the black accents just really are working for me on this layout. And it just, I don't know, sometimes these things all just kind of come together. And I know I've said it before, the designers definitely know what they're doing. So our arrow's kind of going to go up at the corner of our little box here. And then I'm going to pop up our So Much Fun on a foam square. And it's going to go right in the center of our arrow here. So that we can still tell it's an arrow, but we kind of have it layered with our little So Much Fun down here. So there is the right side of our page again. Kind of simple, but yet, you know, we're adding enough detail to keep it really interesting as well. And then, like I said, keeping that center open a bit more just to allow for the flexibility of photo placement later. And here are what our, it would help if I was actually on the camera better for you all. Here are what our two pages look like together. What do y'all think? I don't usually mix up two collections, but I just thought it really just made sense with this layout. It's almost like part of the reason I pulled the black shimmer also because our skyscrapers behind our buses were all black with the little yellow lights on them. And so I thought, you know, this could almost be like exploring the city at night, or if you go to the theater at night and see a show, this would be a perfect layout for something like that, just something really different. And it just worked. So here's the sketch again. Let me know if you'll have any comments or questions. Thanks for sticking with me through my putting this together. All my explaining, I'm going to grab a sip of water and then pull out sketch number 11. Okay. Sketch number 11. One of you was a bit of an outlier and voted a little bit late for Nordic Winter. And when I saw the sketch, this is the way the sketch is supposed to go. And I flipped it because I don't know why. Maybe it was an extra creative day for me. I saw these 2 points and it just made me think of all the trees and the Christmas trees and the pine trees in the Nordic Winter collection. And so I thought, okay, that person that voted late is going to get to see me flip a sketch and put this together with Nordic Winter, which I really, really like this collection. I like the colors in it. I just think it's really, really pretty. But I am getting down to the end of what I have for this collection as well. And in fact, these are my last 2 sheets of designer paper that we're going to be using for the base of this layout. So some of my things shifted a little bit here. That's okay. I will fix it. We are going to be using a bunch of these gems also that came with this collection in the embellishment pack as well. But you can see this left side is going to be a little bit more green, and the right side is going to be a little bit more blue. So this is the tan paper that has the points on it, which is also something I thought just spoke well to flipping the sketch, because I've got these little arcs here. I mean, I'm sure there's supposed to be like a little mountain peak or something, but that's okay. It has the green tiles on the back of it. And then I pulled out 4 of our mats. I have, what do I have? I have 4.5 by 6.5, the geometric edged one here that has some brown stripes on the back. This is a green dot one that's also 4.5 by 6.5 that has brown dots. This one has these berries, and I want to say juniper berries, but I don't think it's actually juniper berries. But it has the stripes on the back of it. That's a 4 by 6, and this is another 4 by 6. And this one is kind of divided. It has the relax on the back of it, but we're using the side that doesn't have the words on it because we have a title card on the other side as well already. So you'll see that one in just a moment. Oops. Okay. Let's get these placed. We have our berries. We have our gems. What do I have here? Am I missing? Nope. Okay, I'm not missing anything. I just knew I wanted to place this about 1/4 of an inch from the edge of the page. There we go. All right. It does help to read the notes sometimes. And just make sure I am tracking where I was going with it, because, you know, it's hard to remember when you're sitting here talking your way through putting a layout together sometimes. So I'm leaving about 3/4 of an inch at the bottom of the page, and something's crooked again. Which one is crooked? Let's put this one. I am pretty sure this one went towards the top here. So that's how I had it. If not, I just flipped it. Probably that's the right way to put that one on there. This maybe is the one that's crooked. Is that where we're at? Am I crooked there, or am I crooked on the other side? I think this one's just ever so slightly. Okay. That's straight, that's straight. There we go, that's straight. Okay, we're straight. As straight as it's gonna get for tonight anyways. And now let's start adding our trees and our embellishments. So there's this collection has a lot of trees, and I'm so happy to be able to use some of them on this layout. Like I said, it just spoke to me. I knew I had a lot of trees left in this collection, and I'm going to just put this over the front again of our 4.5 by 6.5 mats, because our photos aren't going to take up all the space, so it's okay if we're overlapping our mats just a little bit. And even over here, I'm overlapping just a little bit as well. We're going to put the single one up here. I actually should have moved this one over just a little bit more. Okay, let me do that real quick, because I don't mind it overlapping. I just don't want it to overlap as much as what I placed this one. So let's scoot that about 1/4 of an inch on each side. Make sure I'm straight-ish. There we go. Okay. And there's that. Okay. Next, we have our pine cone sticker that has the branch with it. And this one is going to come in from the edge of our layout here. And this is going to be on foam squares as well. Do I want to do the foam squares or the foam tape? I think this one might be better with the foam tape. Let's do that. microchip scissors, which are currently not available, but I love because of their non-stick coating that they have on them. If you would like a pair, you can go to the My Creative Memories website, and Home Office will send you an email when they are back in stock. I think they're scheduled for December. So this is coming in from the left corner of our page here. And then we have these the little blueberries that match the berries in here. We're going to go ahead and get a small foam square for this one to pop up from this right corner. And there were actually quite a few of these little clusters of the blueberries. And so I'm using quite a few of them on this layout. Hang on, let's see if I can get this on here first. Make sure I'm on the page. It's kind of small, maybe a little tricky. So the only blue you're going to see on this page is in this truck. Again, it just spoke to me. It brings in the left side or the right side of our page to the left a little bit. And then we also have our tree going down here as well. And I'm going to go ahead and place this one down on the layout. Let me get some tape runner on this one. Okay. Put those back for now. Put this down here. And, oops. There we go. All right, there's that. And now we're going to go ahead and place some of our gems. So there are large and small gems. We're going to start with the large gems towards the outside. And we're going to use these gems. And we're going to place them about a half an inch apart-ish. I'm just eyeballing it. It's, you can get your ruler out, make sure everything is super straight. In fact, I probably should just place my ruler so I'm getting a straight line across my page, because I can tell this is about 1/4 of an inch up from the bottom of the page. And I started out with this one a little bit lower, so I'm going to just go ahead and pick it up. So here's 1/4 of an inch. Yep. The other two are pretty good. This one was just sinking a little bit, I guess, if you will. There we go. Line it up. Sometimes I feel like I need a third arm for these things. Okay, line up. Here you go. You're on the page. You're at the 1/4 of an inch. And now, of course, maybe I'm going to wind up with that exactly a half inch. Okay. Nope, I'm a little bit more space now, of course. Let's see, 3/8. Close enough. It's okay. I'm just going to move on. Keep myself going here. There's the half inch there. We're going to go a little bit further here, and it's okay because our gems are getting smaller. And because then we're going to have 6 from the other side, and my center's here. So I'm actually going to put one over here, the other side of my tree, because really we only have 6 inches to work with for each side of this. And there's one. Do I put them in my tires? I'm going to put these in my tires. How's about that? Why not? Okay, put them there. So that might be a little going off my 1/4 of an inch just a little bit because my tires were just a little bit lower. So I'm going to bring my ruler back in from this other side here. I'm going to go with the smallest gem coming over from my other one here. There we go. And last one. Okay. So it's not exactly a perfect border, but you know what? I'm okay with that. We're using the gems instead of the actual border going across the bottom of the page. And it doesn't have to be perfect. You can do what you want, like I did with the tires. And there you go. You can see some are spaced further, some are spaced less. All of them about a quarter of an inch up from the bottom of the page. So at least it kind of leads across with your eye in a straight line. But that's the left side of our page. Isn't that pretty? I don't know. This collection is just really, really pretty. I'll talk about photo placement in a moment. Let's do the right side of this page, which also has a good bit going on with it. And oops, I probably need to move my other things and not my mats as much. But I have blue gems for this side of the page. There's the blue gems. And like I said, we've got quite a few of those little bits there. And I grabbed a couple more of our trees, but these are our potted trees because the blue is what's working on this side of the page. Okay, so I have the Filled with Wonder. That's going to be at the bottom. This one is one of our 4x6 mats. And then we have our the other berry mat, which is another 4x6 as well. And these are going to be about a quarter of an inch from the right edge of the page here, just going up because again, these are both 4x6. So you can only fit 2 of them because 6 and 6 is 12. And that is going to be a nice straight line going up our page. If I can get this on. So where they are even. Here we go. Okay. All right. So going up our right side. And then I have another. See, this one has the berries at the bottom. No. Okay. Well, let's see what I do about that one. And then so this is a 4x6, but this is the blue, so it matches nicely with our green one. I may have to do this because that's what I did on the other side. Snow day. We're not using the snow day side. And this one has the snowflakes on it with some lines, but we're probably going to put a photo there. And it has the mustardy brown back on it. Golden, yellow, brown? I'm not sure. This collection came out a little while ago, so there you have it. All right, so about a quarter of an inch in and a little bit up, about 3/4 of an inch up from the bottom of the page here. And let's see if I want to, I'm gonna do this a moment. Press down on that so I don't move it. Do we want to have both of those at the top or do we want to alternate? You know what, I'm going to alternate. Okay. Sometimes it takes a moment and then I need to make space for my lantern over here. So I'm going to place the lantern first because I'm going to overlap it with the mat just a little bit. But I just thought this was just too pretty not to have on the page. It just went with everything here. Alternating. Okay. And then I'm just going to cover up some of this white space on the lantern a little bit. Bring this down about a quarter of an inch and over. Okay, not bad. And what else do we have? Our trees, our potted trees. These two are going to layer a little bit, and this one is going kind of on its own in the middle of our layout. Okay, here we go. And this is going down just a little bit, and this one's going to go up just a little bit. Again, overlapping our mat just a hair. And now we have 3 of our berries, and these are going to line kind of the top of this page because we have this extra blue space here that we had one of our mats going horizontally on the other side of the page. And this one we have the two vertical mats going up. So I'm going to foam square these again, coming in from our edges. And then the one in the center as well. Just so pretty. All right, let's bring that just at a slight angle there. And now let's pull back in our zero centering ruler. If you remember when I talked about the zero centering ruler with one of the other layouts, the grid lines do run both vertically and horizontally on here. So that's why I'm able to place it to get the 1/4 of an inch marking here on the bottom. And I'm just going to kind of randomly place these again because I don't want to have them perfectly placed and spaced. I mean, I do want them along this 1/4 of an inch line, but since my other ones kind of got spaced out where some are a little bit closer than others, then I'm okay with doing that on this side as well. So there's that. And here's the other end. Oops, if I can pick them up. I do say sometimes the hardest part is getting them picked up from the table because it's on this clear plastic that's a little bit slippery. So it's not exactly the easiest thing sometimes. All right, that one's going right there. Okay, so this is the right side of our page. I will hold it up for you. There we go. How's about that? Those little gems. So pretty. I don't know. I just really worked for me with this one in here. I'll bring in the left side of the page. Again, let me know if anybody has any questions about anything, or I'll go ahead and continue to move on here. We're going to be done with this kind of quick tonight. Well, I didn't have as many demos. Some of those other ones I was talking a lot about punches, wasn't I? The next one we're going to have a demo. But anyways, here is our flipped sketch. You can see just kind of, it does have some embellishments around here. Journal box was up here, and of course now we have it options. I guess you could do it here, or you can even write in your title box down here for our photos. So now this one is a little bit interesting for photos, and just because of the way it runs, because your photo is not going to be as tall as it, so it's going to get framed out by some of the white. If you don't like that, you can always take a little piece of green cardstock and add that to the top and the bottom of your dark green cardstock, or you can look for another mat in your mat pack that has the same green and cut a little bit off of that as well. But definitely we'll be putting a photo here, and here you can also put photo, or you can put 2 photos, or you can journal in one of these and put a photo here. You can put a photo here. It's the options are almost endless with this one. You can also put a photo here in this space. Your photo can also go here. So with this one, again, you would have to watch your lines, but that might be an opportunity for a write-on sticker, which are also white to cover up these lines that are on your journal mat. And then you can photo here or journal, photo here, photo journal, whatever you want. It's your page. If you make it, that is, or if I put it up for sale, you never know. So that is sketch number, what is that, 11? Yes, that's 11. So we made that one into a 2-page layout. Sketch number 11. Sketch number 12, the last one. Can you believe it? Okay, let me get this off of here. We're going to use Scrap Happy 2.0 for this one. And I am going to be working with our custom cutting system circles. Let me grab mine just a moment here. For this, it means that I also need to grab my cutting mat, but I will talk a minute about the sketch as well. Okay, this one we're going to leave as a single page. Here is my close-up of all of the stuff I'm going to be doing if it would quit slipping out of my hand. So I'm going to show you a little trick for cutting circles on our 12-inch trimmer. We're going to use laser cut paper and our custom cutting system circles. I'm so glad I wrote which blade and which circle I need on here. Now, the reason that I knew which blade and which circle I need is because we have this handy dandy template that you get when you purchase our custom cutting system. Any of our products, whether the circles, ovals, gemstone. But I cut my mats 5.25 by 3.25 because we're going to be working on our laser cut paper, as you can see here. You can definitely see where we're going, right? So I'll pull that off and show you in a moment. I got a bunch of these to move. But we are going to need the circle for this because on our sketch, I mean, they had one here, they had one here and one here, but instead of doing the one here for the journal box, again, we have an embellishment that'll work. And I think we have enough other circles on the page that it'll be fine. We'll find out. That's part of the fun of doing the virtual crop sketches with me because I never exactly know how they're going to turn out, especially with this one because I still have more cutting to do. All right, so I have pulled out 2 sheets of my light blue cardstock and I cut my mats from it. And I also am using it as the base behind my laser cut paper. Because the laser cut paper, I mean, you probably could use it on its own. It has a green striped side and it has a blue striped side. And we're going with the blue striped side. And then I tried putting white behind it. And then I put the light blue behind it. And I just thought, you know what? That's perfect. It's going to look really good with the mats on it. The mats will draw back in the color behind our laser cut paper. And here, in fact, I've got an index sheet here, which I can show you real quick what the white would look like. So here, if I put the white behind it, you really see the white. That draws your eye, doesn't it? And then you put the blue here, and it's not as pleasing to the eye. It's just a little bit stark. So, hang on, I don't want to, well, you guys know it's coming. My collection introduction is coming, so I have my next collection out. How's about we do we want to stick this down first or do we want to cut first? Let's cut first. Why not? Let me move some of this out of the way. Goodness gracious, let me set this aside. Okay. Pull in my 13 by 13 mat and put my little drawer liner down first so it doesn't skid around on me. And there's that. Here's my cardstock. Here are my circles. Let me get out my largest one and close that. I'll pull out my little green blade here because I said we're doing the green blade inside because since my mats are 5.5 by 3.5, I needed it is getting late. I haven't made this many mistakes since the first one. What can I say? Okay. So my mats are 5.25 by 3.25, which I actually had to make my mats smaller than what they did because we're using the laser cut paper. So when I looked at this is 3 inches. And then with the blue blade, because it's in blue, 3.5 with the red blade because it's in red. So in between 3 and 3.5 is 3.25, and that's our green blade. Because the blue blade cuts closest to the template, and the blue blade cuts furthest from the template. It is getting late, and it's been a long day for me. This has been a good. What have I been on for? An hour already? Yes. So Blue blade cuts furthest from the template, then the green, then the red. The red blade is always closest to our template every time. Green's always in the middle, and the blue is always the furthest. So that's your rule of thumb with the custom cutting system. I hope that made sense. I don't know if I want to explain it again if it didn't. But we're using our green blade on the inside, and I usually lift it up first because it's so much easier to get the pegs into the track. So we have 2 pegs and a blade here. And I don't know if you saw our blades, you fold it in so that way when you go to grab your blade, you're not cutting yourself, and you have these nice little holders on either side for where it slides in, and it's nice and grippy so you can hang on nicely to it. But you want these 2 green pegs to go into the track, and it's a lot easier for me to see when I'm holding it up. So then I go ahead and I take the whole thing. You don't even have to hold on anymore, really. Place it down. I'm going to go a little bit closer to the edge of my page because I know I'm cutting on the inside track, and it's always nice to try to not waste paper. And then it just slides around really nicely. I will let you know, if you do not get both of your pegs into your track, you will rip your paper. There is a little bit of a learning curve. Catherine has ripped a lot of paper. That's how I learned how to put the pegs in while it's raised, so I can actually look at it and then don't even have to hold on. Place it down and you're good to go with your cutting. So hopefully that helped save some of your paper with my little tips there. Go ahead and put your blade back in. Place mine back in my little box so I know where it's at the next time I need it. Scoot my circle out of the way, and here is our circle that we cut. Scoot that over, scoot this over. I need to bring in my trimmer, which thankfully is right here because it's the one thing I forgot to check for before I went live. Go figure, because it's the last one. So now, with our 12-inch trimmer, we have this area here that kind of is raised. So there's a little ledge here, and there is a little ledge here. Our blade cuts on this track, this number 4, is where I'm at right now. If you take your circle and you place it just as far up as it'll go into these 2 corners of where that raised area starts on your trimmer, you are going to be able to cut your circle in half perfectly every time. Because your circle is round, it doesn't matter which way it goes in. I'm going to hold it in place and cut. And here you go. Look at that. Right in half. Can't really see any distinction between the 2 halves. And I might need my scissors, but that's okay because that went up just a little bit beyond where my blade goes. But otherwise, of everything, paper, you can always fix with scissors, right? So that is your extra bonus tip for today that you didn't even have to vote on to get. Let's get this layout put together, shall we? I think I'm ready. I'm getting tired. Well, I was tired when I started. So I think I'm getting a little more tired. Go figure. All right, let's go ahead and grab the repositionable tape first to get these circles with a little bit of tape on them. I'm going to use my silicone mat here, just like I do with all the others, just going around the edges. And want to make sure my laser cut paper stays on here. And sometimes we do, I know with the laser cut embellishments even, we have trouble trying to figure out where to use them. So I'm always happy to give you all ideas of how to use some of these. Now, let's see if I can get this reasonably centered on here. I think so. Stick my fingers on the edges, push this in a little bit. Now that's completely crooked. That seems to be the story of the night for me, huh? It's gonna be crooked just a little bit the first time. And then I'm gonna figure it out and get it straight, right? How's that? Let's see here. Pretty sure that's about right. Looks great. Okay. So pressing down on that, it's not going to go anywhere. It's going to stay on my light blue cardstock nicely. And now, what am I doing here? I've got my title sticker that's going to go up here. I've got my 3 mats. So I have one here. One's going to go over, and I'm placing it over a little bit more than what they have in the um, sketch. My goodness, between the crookedness and the sketch, remembering what these things are called tonight, I don't know. And then our who, what, when is going over here. So how's about we place this first, and then we'll get everything else on the page. Maybe that'll work out for me. And then I have a little shutter flower. That's also going to highlight there. Do this one maybe? Is that the middle? You know what? There's an easy solution for that one. My 0 is here. It's right in between. So I guess it's okay if it's a little bit up. I think it actually looks better up than it does cutting those 2 in half. Let me grab a foam square. Is it a foam square? No, it's an actual embellishment. Okay. Do we want to stick it? Do we want a foam square? Well, let's stick it because the laser cut paper itself is already raised a little bit. There we go. We'll just highlight that one. We'll put this down. I'm going to go ahead and put this on my cardstock here. One nice thing about cardstock is you don't have to flip it. It's not designer paper. The designer paper is designed on both sides. Cardstock, we don't have to flip it. I think sometimes we just naturally flip it because you're so used to flipping the designer paper. Okay, I'm going to think this probably can go right about here. I'm not going to push down on it though because the rate I'm going tonight, this is going to go over just a little bit further from that. I've got about 1/4 of an inch, a little bit more on this right side here. I don't even know if that's straight or not. I am just going to go for it. Nope, that's too high. Okay, this has to go low. Lower. So there we go, fitting it in so you can still see the shutter flower. So we're basically going to be up against the shutter flowers here and up here, which is good to know. That's an easy way to tell. And I'm going to have about 1/8 of an inch all the way around. It's hard because these lines on the laser cut paper are diagonal. And when you're trying to place this straight, it's not the easiest thing to try to do here. Okay, especially when you've been doing a lot all day here. That looks straight. That looks straight. This is crooked. Okay. This is not straight. This needs to go up just a little bit. Oops. Okay. And okay, we all know I'm a little fussy sometimes, but how am... All right, that looks pretty good. Okay. All right, and then this one is going to come just straight off of this, kind of through the middle. Yep, that looks pretty good right there. Because this is kind of what our circle was going to be on that side, but we're going to put our circles here and here. And this is why we cut the 5 1/4 inch circle. See, I remembered, not 5 1/4, 3 1/4. Oh my goodness. Well, I remembered the quarter anyways this time. I don't know. Okay. And let's line this up here with our mat. So When you're placing your photo, you have a little bit of extra leeway. You can go into your circle just a little bit if you want to. And then I am going to add our, we didn't realize we were making memories. We just knew we were having fun sticker up here in this corner. And I am going to overlay a couple of the shutter flowers, just a little bit there in that corner. And then I found all of these little shutter flowers as well in our sticker pack. So we have the colors and we have these little ones, and we're just going to go ahead and place these kind of scattered a bit. So you see how they have sort of an array of showing where to put embellishments on here, and what worked out that I was able to put that one there, but we're going to jazz it up a bit on this side. Let's see how this works out for me, because I didn't necessarily plan these. All right, so there's the 6 of those, and now we have 6 of these as well that we can kind of intersperse in. Oops, if I can, let me just start with one up here too. One down here. Well, we'll just kind of swing it here. Let's see. Yep, that looks pretty good. Okay. Whew. Press down on those. I'm happy with where they landed. All right. Here is our final layout of the night. I kept this one a single layout. This is our, oops, my foam squares. This is our inspiration sketch. And how did I do? What do y'all think? We have, I mean, this one is, it's you kind of have to go photo, photo, photo. You can put a photo here, I guess, if you really want to, or maybe even one down here. But I wouldn't. I would just kind of keep it simple, a little bit of a simpler layout overall. And, you know, I hope you all enjoyed spending a little bit of time with me tonight. I am going to switch things over real quick one more time, and we'll say goodnight. Let's see here. Now that I know where the button is again. Here I am. I survived it. Thank you so much for sticking with me tonight. I am hoping to do the collection introduction for that wonderful day collection, and I'll explain a little bit about what's going on here in my workshop. I have been working a little bit with my Autumn Cottage for the sketch with me, and I wound up with 2 ideas, and I'm not sure where I'm going with either one of them yet. So we'll see when that one gets put out. I'm still having issues filming during the day. We have construction still going on across the street from my house, which is partially why I'm live streaming this late. So that way we aren't having to deal with construction noise as well. I'll see if I can go on maybe tomorrow afternoon. If it's noisy, I won't. And you might see me again tomorrow night. Otherwise, if you're joining me for the first time, welcome. Please hit the subscribe button. Hit the thumbs up if you liked my sketch interpretations. And if you don't have a Creative Memories advisor, I would love to be your advisor. The link to my Creative Memories website is in the description box below this video. Until next time.